Hey, it's Beau. In this video, I'm going to show you an easy way to determine how much you should be charging for your coaching, consulting, or service-based offers. And probably 90% of creators get this wrong, and it's the reason they struggle for so long in order to get their business off the ground, to get to that, 20K, 30K a month mark where you're enjoying a lot of freedom. If you're not there yet, it might be because of your pricing. So when you use this simple formula, it's going to show you what your minimum prices need to be. And a lot of people do this and they find that they're vastly undercharging, and it's the reason why they've been struggling. It might not have anything to do with your marketing or anything else. It might just be your pricing that's off. So let's dive into it. The first thing you need to calculate is your freedom number. This is basically just the minimum amount of money that you need to make every month to be comfortable. It's what you might also call your enough number. How much do you need so that you have your bases covered, all your bills paid, everything like that? Let's just say it's 15K a month. For a lot of people, it's going to be somewhere around that number, maybe 10, 15K a month. Then you also want to calculate your dream number. Like, what would be an ideal amount of money that you would want to be making, let's say, within the next 12 months? Let's say that's 50K a month. You want to get to 50K a month within the next year. Now, here's the important thing. Your pricing should be based on these numbers. They should not be based on just some arbitrary estimate of like, how much am I worth? Or how much is this thing that I'm offering worth? We want to start with the end in mind. We want to start with how much do we want to be making and then reverse engineer from there. So if you need to be making 15K a month minimum in your business, well, the way that I think about it is we want to start with our one-to-one capacity. We want to start high and then go low. We want to start with our most premium offer. So how many one-to-one clients can you comfortably handle on a weekly basis? What's your capacity for that? For most people, it's going to be somewhere between like maybe 8 and 12. Let's say it's 10. So you can comfortably handle 10 clients at any given time. Now, all we do to figure out how much we need to charge is we just divide this, the freedom number, by the capacity. So 15,000 divided by 10 equals 1,500. That means for your one-to-one coaching packages, you need to be charging a minimum of $1,500 per month. Not $1,500 one time, but $1,500 a month. So if it's a 3-month package, that means you need to be charging $4,500 or more. If it's a 6-month package, you need to be charging $9,000 or more. Because it's just math. This is not personal. You don't have to get all in your feelings about it. It's just math. It's like if you need 15K a month to survive and pay all your bills and everything and have a little bit left over and to be able to live comfortably, I mean, you deserve that at the minimum, right? If you need 15K a month and you can only handle 10 clients, then it makes perfect sense that you charge $1,500 a month. So instead of asking yourself, what is what I have worth? Ask yourself, what do I need to make it worth? So if you don't currently think what you have to offer is worth $1,500 a month, then you just have to get to work making something that is worth that much. So start with the end in mind. What is your goal? Reverse engineer it. How many clients can you handle? What's the minimum you need to charge? And then you ask yourself, what could I put together? What kind of outcome could I help someone achieve that would be worth that amount? Now, what a lot of people want to do is they want to eventually move into a group program. I mean, a lot of people, they try to start here, which is actually a mistake in most cases. You should be starting with your one-to-one or your high-touch services and then work your way down from there into more of a group kind of thing. But then you have to ask, okay, what's your group capacity? Because a lot of people think like your group program is unlimited in capacity, but that's not really true. I mean, maybe comfortably you could handle, let's say 100 clients. Let's say by yourself, if you don't want to hire a team and everything. You could have 100 people in a group and maybe you could manage that. Maybe it's even less than that, but let's just say it's 100. Now we want to do the same exact thing that we did before. So we take our dream number, you want to be making $50,000 a month, and you can handle 100 people inside of a group program. So then we just do the same math. We do 50K divided by 100. That means you need to be charging a minimum of, what is that, $500 a month. So that means if you have a 3-month program, you need to charge a minimum of $1,500 if it's a group program and it doesn't take a lot of your one-to-one energy. If it's a 6-month program, it needs to be minimum $3,000. If it's a 12-month program, it needs to be minimum $6,000. Now, if you do not follow this, you don't do it like this, like I just taught you, you are gonna end up burnout at some point in time because the math just does not make sense. Your business is not set up to be sustainable. So maybe in the beginning, for example, you charge less than you know you should and you undercharge and then you end up with like, let's say 10 clients, 10 one-to-one clients, but you're not charging enough. Let's say you're only charging like 500 bucks a month like you would for like your group program, but you're doing that on a one-to-one basis. So now you have 10 clients, which is your max capacity, and you're only making $5,000 a month, and you can't even take any more clients. You're at capacity at 5K a month. Your income is basically capped at 5K a month, and now you're forced to maybe launch like a group program, which may or may not be a good idea. But then if you undercharge for your group program also, you're gonna end up in the same position where you're maxed out on your one-to-one and you're overwhelmed by the group delivery and everything that you have to do for that. So you have this packed calendar, you're busy, you're overwhelmed, you're stressed, and you're not making the amount of money that you want to be making. And largely, all of these problems could be avoided by just having proper pricing. If you just charged enough, you wouldn't run into these issues. The mistake a lot of people make is maybe they're more beginners. You're more in the earlier phases of starting your business, so you think that you need to charge less. And yeah, there are some cases where, you know, you want to start a little bit lower and then work your way up. That's fine. But most people, they stay in this cycle forever. They undercharge and then they just keep undercharging and they don't raise their prices, or they might just raise them a little bit, you know, like most likely you need to at least 5 to 10x your prices. That's what I find when I work with people, especially for their like premium one-to-one container or even their group coaching. Sometimes they need to double, triple, maybe 5, maybe even 10x their prices. And that is actually the bottleneck. That's the thing that's preventing you from growing your business. It's because your business is too dependent on volume. You need too many customers and clients in order to make your business sustainable. And that leads to other problems, because if you need more clients and customers, then you gotta maybe go out and play the social media game and hustle on social media, and you got to make more content and you got to generate more leads and you got to do all this stuff in order to get that volume. And now you're on the hamster wheel. You're trying to do the marketing, the social media, and then also deliver for these clients, and you're already maxed out there, and you're maxed out in all areas now. And it all could be avoided if you just priced your stuff appropriately. And a lot of this pricing stuff is all mindset stuff. It's just limiting beliefs. You know, for the longest time, I mean, this is actually hilarious, really. I've never really told this story, but for like the first 7 years of my entrepreneurial journey, I had this mental barrier. I thought that I could not charge more than $97 for anything that I created. I was launching courses left and right, digital products. I did more of like the low ticket kind of business model. And I just had this invisible ceiling in my mind. I thought the most that I can charge is $97. And I stayed stuck for years because of that. And then, you know, over time, I gradually increased that. Then I started charging like $297. And eventually I launched a course that was like $1,000, and then $2,000. And then eventually I sold some high ticket stuff that was like $4,000, $5,000. And then I sold a $12,000 thing, you know, and I just worked my way up slowly. And along that journey, I just saw so clearly that it was all in my mind. I could have been charging $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for what I was doing a decade ago, even though I thought at that time that, oh, I'm too new to this. I need to work my way up. I need to start low and then go high. I could have been charging that from the very beginning, and I could have avoided all the suffering and struggle that I went through. It was literally just all in my head. So you have to first convince yourself of your own value. That's what's gonna help you charge higher prices, is you have to see clearly how much you're actually worth. And one thing you can do to help with that is just go back into your past and think about your journey, everything that you've been through, all the books you've read, maybe the thousands of hours, the sleepless nights, all the skills you've acquired over the years, all the things that you've been through. You've been on this journey and you came out the other side. And now you have this ability to reach your hand back and help other people who are going through that, and maybe save those people from years of unnecessary suffering and struggle. What is that worth to somebody else, to save them years of their life, years of suffering that they might otherwise have to go through if they didn't have your help? What is that worth to someone? I mean, it's hard to put a price tag on it, but all I know is it's extremely valuable. So convince yourself of your own value first, and then it's going to be a lot easier for other people to recognize your value, because it's going to come through in how you speak and how you share what you share. It's just that energy of like conviction, you know, like you know your value. And so it's a lot easier for other people to see it as well. Hope this helps. I'll talk to you in the next one.